We'd like to welcome everybody to the NCAA information meeting. This is for hopefully give you some information if you have a student athlete that's interested in going and playing at the next level, whether it be a Division I, Division II, or Division III school. So we're going to kind of divide this up. I'll go over some information. I'm going to turn some of it over to Chris Hutchins as well. It's the Bentonville High School Athletic Director, and Kevin Downing, Bentonville West Athletic Director. We have some contact information here on the front of the slide. So if after this presentation, if you feel like you've got some questions that we didn't answer, do not hesitate to email any of us here on this slide of contact information, and we will do our best to get back with you as soon as possible. And with that, I'm going to turn this next section over to Chris Hutchins, and then I'll join you in a minute to talk about core courses.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Hutchins. I'm the athletic director at Bentonville High School. I'm going to share some things about setting up an NCAA account, and I guess a big part of this presentation that we're doing tonight is just making sure everyone has access to information or where to find the information. So all the information we're doing tonight is at our website, bentonvillek12.org. If you go to departments and athletics, we have a lot of NCAA resources there for prospective student athletes that want the opportunity at the next level. At our Bentonville Sports Network, we have the same information available. So part of this, again, is just showing you, talking through, and making sure everyone is informed. The NCAA has really done a much better job in the last 5 years of providing information. And fortunately, we all attend or are employed by Bentonville Schools, and Bentonville Schools has done a really good job of making sure our courses for our potential athletes align with what the NCAA wants. There's really a couple different opportunities kids will have at the next level, whether at the NCAA level, which is Division I, Division II, and Division III. And we're not going to talk about tonight, but there are some other opportunities called NAIA, which is a different organization, and then JUCO route that some kids have the opportunity to take. So that's the agenda on this NCAA Eligibility Center presentation. We're going to talk about some of the things, not all of them. Again, this is available to go back and look at any time that you would want, showing you resources. So what is the NCAA Eligibility Center? It's really sharing information with college-bound student athletes, and that can start early. And one of the things we stress to our athletes at Bentonville High School and Bentonville West High School is to start this process early. It's really hard if you decide that you want to play a sport at any level or any division when you're a first semester senior. If you start as a first semester ninth grader, then those doors are going to stay open and you're going to meet a lot of the criteria that the Eligibility Center requires. Just a little bit of information about the NCAA. There are over 1,100 colleges and universities. There's over 500,000 student athletes. So there's all kinds of opportunities out there for potential student athletes at the next level. So when you get to the Eligibility Center, student athletes as early as ninth grade can set up an account. There's two different types of account. And really the main difference is one is free and one is a paid service. We encourage all of our 9th and 10th grade prospective athletes to set up a profile page account because it's free and because that free account can be transitioned into a certification account. So that can be done now. And it sets up an NCAA ID number and it allows your transcript to become uploaded to the NCAA. It allows you to be recruited. There's all kinds of different things that go along with the free profile page. If you were ever to become a recruited athlete, and that would probably happen maybe as a second semester sophomore, more than likely your junior and senior year, then it's easy to transition your profile page free into a certification account. That costs $90. There are some fee waivers through the NCAA if that's something that you would need to do. But if you were to sign in a national letter of intent to attend a Division I or Division II school, then you would have to have a certification account, as well as any official visits that you would take to a campus. So certification account, profile account allows you to have an NCAA ID number. That's something that you can tie even to your ACT scores or SAT scores. So that data is available. Your transcript can be uploaded to those accounts as well. So that's an important step that you can start taking to start the process to have opportunities. Mr. Passamore is going to step in and talk a little bit about what is a core course and the qualifications at the different levels.
Okay, I think the most important thing you need to understand about a core course is the NCAA will only let you count approved core courses towards your GPA. So a lot of students misunderstand this. They think just because they've got a 2.5 GPA that they're automatically eligible for NCAA requirements. But just because they made an A in an elective class that may not be accepted at the NCAA level, that will not go towards your GPA. So you need to have an understanding of what core course GPA is. Okay, this is an example of a schedule for Eligibility Center with 16 core courses completed between 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. You'll notice with this slide, it's got 4 core courses completed as a 9th grade student, then 4 your 10th grade, 4 your 11th grade, and 4 your 12th grade, which gets you to your 16 core courses required by the NCAA. You'll also notice that it's got subjects such as English, math, science, and social studies listed, because those are your typical core courses that are required at the NCAA level. Hold on one second. We're trying to go to the next slide. Apologize for the delay here. It's not, slides aren't wanting to move. Okay, also on the PowerPoint that'll be available on our website, it does have a QR code that you can scan that, and from that point you can look up your school, whether it be Bentonville High School or Bentonville West, and it will give you a list of all the NCAA core courses that are approved at each of those high schools. So when you're figuring your GPA for college eligibility, that'll help you out. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Division I qualifiers and kind of the standard for a Division I qualifier. You may, as you go through the slides on the website, you'll see them talk about early qualifiers. That's only going to affect those students that graduate from high school early. So they met the graduation requirements for the Bentonville School District. They're eligible to graduate early, and they have a GPA that's required by the NCAA. Early qualifiers have to have a higher GPA than the regular qualifier. We're going to focus on Division I qualifiers because that affects most of the students. The first thing you'll see is it mentions a 10-7. Well, 10-7 is it's something that the NCAA requires for Division I schools only. What that means is you have to have completed 10 core courses prior to your 7th semester of high school. So at the end of the fall semester, your senior year, you've had to have completed 10 core courses. They do this to prevent student athletes from not completing their core courses, and then their senior year they're trying to load up and get eligible all at one time. They think it's important that you maintain a GPA and you're completing your core courses throughout your 9th grade, 10th grade, and 11th grade year. So that's what the 10-7 means. It just says you have to have the 10 core courses prior to that 7th semester. You have to complete 16 total units, and for Division I, you have to have a GPA of 2.3 or greater, and then you need to submit your proof of graduation along with your GPA, and all that information will be loaded onto the NCAA site for eligibility purposes. The next one we'll talk about is a Division II qualifier. It's very similar to the Division One qualifier. We'll go to that slide as soon as the slide will change for us. Again, as we're scanning through, it's just talking about the standardized test. You can go back and look at that. You can look at the pre-qualifier information and so forth, and alternative standards for so forth. But we'll talk about just the Division II qualifier and what's required. You'll notice the difference here between Division I and Division II. You do not have the 10-7 rule. Division II, the only thing they're concerned with is when you graduate that you have completed 16 core courses. So they're not putting as much pressure to have a certain number done prior to finishing up your senior year. So the 16 core courses, also the GPA, if you'll notice, is just a little bit lower. The Division I qualifier had a 2.3 GPA. Division II is a 2.2 GPA. And then again, you submit this with your graduation through your core courses. The final one we will visit about is Division III. And Division III is different than Division I or II. Division III schools cannot offer athletic scholarships. They give financial aid. They can give you academic scholarships. They can help you with grants and so forth, but they do not do a Division III scholarship for athletics. Because of that, each individual school determines their own eligibility admissions, their own eligibility as far as or their own financial aid, and how they set that up. So if you're planning to go Division III, then you would need to work directly with the university you chose to find out exactly what those requirements are. So hopefully this helps a little bit with understanding core courses and the requirements for each division. The most important thing to get out of this is the GPA is figured by core courses only, not your accumulative GPA from all your classes. It's only core courses. And then if you're Division I, you have to have completed 10 core courses prior to that 7th semester for eligibility purposes. And I'm going to turn the next few slides over to Chris Hutchins, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Thank you.
All right, the last part here going through, again, this is on our website, the Eligibility Center. And let me first mention distance or e-learning. With the virtual opportunities students have now, you have to be sure that the classes that you're enrolled in count towards those core classes that Mr. Passman was talking about. Our school district, if you're taking a class through Bentonville Schools, it is going to count for a core course as long as it's one of those areas that are listed, one of your core classes. But the virtual classes at Bentonville High School count exactly the same as being in an actual classroom, brick and mortar. So when you set up that certification account or free profile account, you're going to choose a sport that you would like to participate in at the next level. Then you're going to keep that updated. Again, this can be a free account. You can update the free account all the way until that time that you know you're going to be recruited and you're going to have opportunities at the next level. So you'll choose a sport. Some people will choose multiple sports, but usually it's just one that you're being recruited in. It's important to know about the NIL, which is name, image, and likeness. That's only going to affect kids at that next level. So it's not something that's hit the high school model yet, but it is something you probably see on social media out there where student athletes, college athletes are making money and having opportunities to make money. Recruiting, we really leave our recruiting to our specific programs. Some of our programs are super involved in that process. And I would highly encourage you, if you are wanting to go that route, to speak directly with the head coach of your program at your high school, and they can assist you as much as possible in helping to have those opportunities at the next level. So recruiting, there's recruiting calendars, when coaches can be on the road, when you can be text, when you can be reached out to, official and unofficial visits. There's all kinds of data and information on this presentation. February the 2nd is the next national letter of intent signing, and that's for football Division I, Division II. Earlier in this school year in November, we had a signing at each of the high schools for kids who had opportunities to go to that next level. So it depends on the sport that you are going to have an opportunity in, when those recruiting calendars and signing periods are. But that's a national letter of intent. You will not be able to sign a national letter of intent without a certification account from the NCAA and having that NCAA ID number. Scholarships are limited. There are a lot of opportunities there, but one of the most important things students can do in Bentonville schools is to get those grades and GPAs up, because that opens the door to a lot more opportunities at the next level. Those academic scholarships, athletic scholarships that can help pay for schooling. There are a ton of resources out there from us, from the NCAA. If you have a question, we are more than happy to answer. The Eligibility Center, again, is a great resource, and hopefully you've got some valuable information about this that will help answer some of the questions you might already have, and maybe bring up some more questions that we'll be happy to help with.
Okay, just in conclusion, we've got the contact information there. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out through email. Hopefully this was helpful. Just keep in mind that, as Chris mentioned earlier, there's a lot of resources. Just the NCAA slides on our website are over 65 slides long with all kinds of information, and then multiple links from those slides that take you to other sites as well. I think the biggest thing is communicate with your student athlete, communicate with your counselors, your athletic directors, the Eligibility Center, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We appreciate you joining us today, and hopefully you got some information you can use, and we look forward to continue to work with your student athletes. Thank you.